History tells us that ancient Rome formed among 7 hills that would become a city that would be the center of the world. Now, St. Joseph has no such tradition, has never been the center of the world, but there are 2 hills in St. Joseph that locals believe bookend the city. Wyeth Hill stands in the northern part of St. Joseph, about 170 feet above the Missouri River. Businessman Houston Wyeth donated the land to the city for use as a park, and the overlook has impressive views of what had been known as the St. Joseph branch of the Oregon Trail. King Hill stands about 36 feet taller on the south side of the city. Though about 6 miles apart, both have a common geological lineage.
Most of these were formed by wind blowing deposits of silt out of the Missouri River Valley. And the sand was too heavy to move by the wind, so it stayed down in the river valley in the floodplain. And the silt-sized particles, which are the next smaller size, were actually lifted by the wind, but they were too heavy to carry very far, so they mainly ended up in the hills just adjacent to the river valley. And then the very smallest particles, the clay size, some of those may have blown away as far as Europe.
Thousands of years of draining water would shape the hills, but local residents would put them to use as well. Wyeth Hill proved high ground for lookouts during the Civil War years. In later times, families were said to sleep there, hoping for a breeze on hot summer nights. On King Hill, archaeological digs found that Native Americans lived there prior to the founding of the nation. More contemporary regard for King Hill has evolved.
If we go to the Belmont Cemetery, which is in Wathena, Kansas, you can see the King Hill flag on a clear day. That's 13 miles away, but you can see that flag.
Like many in St. Joseph, Robertson has childhood memories of King Hill. His grandmother, Julia Rupp, led the effort in the 1990s to restore the flagpole, which stands 100 feet above the hill.
At that time, early 70s, the stockyards is a going concern, and so we'd go to the top of the King Hill, and at that time the flag was up, not as tall as it was now, but we would go up there and we'd talk about the flag and talk about the stockyards and how things were, and then we'd point down to the bucket shop, and we'd go down to the bucket shop and have beef burgers. We probably did that 3 times a month.
The hills of St. Joseph, King Hill and Wyeth Hill, were formed in prehistoric times, but they continue to look down upon the community, landmarks for the city and its citizens. For Fox 26, KMPN, and the St. Joseph News Press, this is Ken Newton.